Hi, everybody. We're back. This is The Spies of Hartlake Hall by R.L. Graham, and I absolutely adore the cover art of this book. Part of me, I've always loved like dolls' houses and miniatures ever since I was a kid. They just fascinate me. I love them. And so obviously the cover of this book kind of reminded me of that. Um, I was immediately drawn to this book. It's set in London in 1917. The body of an unknown man is found inside a locked closet in a highly secret area of naval intelligence with a telegram in his pocket that could wreak havoc if it fell into the wrong hands. Agent Peter Gallagher sees there are a lot of players to this puzzle, so he invites them all out to his family's country estate for a shooting party so he can question them and find out who is the spy discreetly, knowing that one of them may be the master spy known as the Dreamer. Can he find out who done it in time? R.L. Graham is the name of a husband and wife writing team who were also historians with a love of World War I and the Belle Epoque specifically. They previously wrote Death on the Lusitania, which also featured Gallagher. Though you don't have to have read that book to read this one, you can just pick this one up if it interests you. One of the writers, Marilyn, sadly died in 2023, so this book was completed by her husband without her, which is sad, but it's a nice... I feel like sometimes when you read things like this, you can kind of... It's a nice sort of monument to a person, you know? The cover art of this book reminds me of a beautiful old doll's house, as I mentioned. I love it. The previous book also has a stunning cover, so I'm really tempted. I mean, don't judge a book by its cover, right? But I am very tempted to get the previous book as well and read that. But I have a lot of books. The book takes place mostly in Kent in January, and it gives the book a very cold feeling. Kent is very cold in January. The house itself is a drafty and hospitable one as well, which kind of adds to this. Initially, I was reminded of some of Agatha Christie's early novels. There were a couple that she wrote about spies and stolen sort of plans and things that were written during the war, and that also took place at out-of-the-way homes in the English countryside, very British. But this book is, while a mystery, more of a spy and a war book. It's more of a war story, so it's not a cozy mystery at all. I like that it got going like really nicely in the opening chapters and didn't needlessly waste time or space there, keeping things moving along. It's got a few twists and turns up its sleeves, and because the authors have such a strong grip on the time period and historical detail, the book feels very immersive and factual. 1917 was a fascinating time period and one that's not as popular in books as a setting recently. I know there's a lot of World War II books. That seems to be a very popular genre, but you don't see 1917 as much. So I thought that was kind of a nice, refreshing little change. The book does feel a little dry at times. Our two leads, both Gallagher and a woman called Jonquil Vane, who is in the same business as him, are suffering from loss and grief. Some of the other characters, a boar called Lansing and Gallagher's mother, for example, are truly hardened and slimy individuals. There's no humor or lightness here. No one brought their children to this country home. No teens are invited to the house. There's no bon mots, no little witty banter, no patriotism, no hope. Even the house itself, which probably would be really beautiful in person, is described as always cold, no one likes being there, and the food is awful. In other words, the book is kind of lacking in charm. It's got history and it's got sadness. That doesn't mean that the book is bad or dull, it's just that it's all rain and no flowers. In Shakespeare, for example, the tragedies always have moments of humor and warmth in them. And in his comedies, there's always moments of gravitas or sort of heart. In this book, our two leads are, in their own words, just waiting for death. I know spy novels can be a little bit cynical. I like Le Carré as well, but this is a historical novel set in 1917. So, it can be a little heavy. I don't mean to be too harsh here by saying that, but I think it's worth pointing out because I do think quite a few books lately are like this. They kind of write tragedy or trauma and it's just one theme, and it's really important that even when somebody is experiencing depression or grief, there are moments of lightness. And there are even moments in life where we laugh while we're crying, So it's like, sometimes it can just be a bit one note and a bit heavy. And honestly, to me, that's not realistic. But anyway, to come back to this book specifically, I liked the ending. I think it plays out well and it was intriguing. I didn't guess what was going to happen, so I was entertained. Overall, this was a pretty solid and interesting read for me. So you might want to get your hands on this one if you like spy stories and historical fiction. It's really rich in research and detail, though it can be a sad and quite literally cold book at times as well. So thank you, PGC Books, for the copy of this one for review and to share with you guys. And do any of you have an interest in that sort of time period? I'm thinking 1917, but loosely speaking, around that time period. I'm interested to hear what you guys, what types of history is sort of, I feel like everyone has a little era of history that they're just interested in that thing, or like maybe a historical event. So if you guys feel comfortable, please tell me in the comments, because I'm curious. I want to know. And thank you for joining me again and for watching my video.